Hello everyone and welcome to VLSI for All expert session. Today's session is very different and unique in many ways because for the audience, because of all the audience we have currently, the audience we are highly competitive and they in the time of in the competitiveness they forgot to express ourselves and write about the things that is going on around our surroundings. Today we have Mr. Sanjay Chandra with us, the man of diverse expertise and work in several different domains, which is a very amazing for the audience to hear his experience. He is the author of The Life and Times of a Common Man, did book review of Musing of a Pioneer, and now his the latest book that is called the Gymnast Book One of Performance Series. Welcome to the show, sir. I am very honored to welcome you here, sir.
Thank you so very much. Even I am very happy to be here with the younger generation, I would say, and it's a pleasure for me to be here on your show. It's VLSI, right?
Yes, sir. VLSI for all, sir. This is related to the electronics part of the electronics domain, sir. Sir,
This is related.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
This is sir. You are also an engineer, sir. I mean, you are is an engineering officer at Indian Railway, and now after before that you did your BTech from HBTI Kanpur, which is very famous college, and then you move on to the private sector and now the entrepreneur and now the writer, sir. How this transition change your mind, sir?
Okay, so to tell you that actually I'll have to narrate my backstory a bit. Uh, and since all of you are this forum is for engineers and all of you are electronics engineers.
Yes.
So I am an electrical engineer, and electronics was just taking off at the time when I did my graduation. So I was born in small town India in 1959, and my family was a middle class family. My parents' generation was the first generation who actually got into service. They were all in government service. Almost all of them were in government service because the government service was the only option at that point of time. And practically the entire family was a family of engineers, both from my father's side as well as from my mother's side. And those were the times when they were very limited career options available. You either became an engineer or became a doctor if you wanted to be successful in life. And so that's how I moved along the flow and got into engineering. I joined HBTI, as you rightly said. I joined HBTI in 1976 and I graduated in 1980. And then I appeared for that UPSC examination, through which I got into engineering services examination, through which I got into Indian Railway Services. Now, it was a services, but even at that point of time, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to do my own business, but because since, as I said, that we were from the middle class, I would say, so and from government service salaries were not so good, so I did not have any options of getting into business, and so I got into the job. But I never let my dream die. I let it remain parked. I kept on thinking about several things, what I could do. I on the side, I thought maybe I could open a poultry farm, maybe I could do some fishing or those kind of things. It was nothing concrete at that point of time. At one point of time, I even thought that maybe, we could set up a business of supplying inverters. And along with another friend of mine, we thought we could do that. We had no idea of business. But then, I realized that government service was becoming a more of a monotonous kind of a job. Even though I had full autonomy, I could take decisions, I could do whatever I wanted to do, but I still felt that there was a monotony. So I shifted to a government company, which was also under the Ministry of Railways. I shifted to that in Delhi. And then from there, I worked there for also 12 years. And then thereafter, I realized, okay, this is not good enough. By the time the private sector had also opened up, so I joined the private sector for 5 years. But the important thing is I never let my dream die. And, the moment I felt that I had a little flexibility in terms of finances because of my private sector experience, so I got into my own entrepreneurship. I quit working for others. I got into my own entrepreneurship. We set up a preschool daycare, and I started providing consultancy into infrastructure sector. So that's how I got into entrepreneurship. That was my dream. Now, over the years, I realized that each and every incident that I went through or that I saw, that was a story in itself. Each anecdote, each incident, each event was a story. And so what I did was I started writing my own memoirs in an anecdotal form. And I posted 2 or 3 of these posts on social media, on Facebook. And then I stopped. Then people started asking me. They were actually looking forward to my further posts. And that's how I got into writing. Then I started penning down my memoirs right from my birth till recently. And that was the birth of my first book, The Life and Times of a Common Man, which I eventually published in 2019. By that time, I had already started working on my second manuscript, which was The Gymnast. Now, how I got the idea of that, once again, that's very interesting. So, see, you would have seen, Michael, across in all cities of India, and since I have traveled widely across the world also, I have traveled almost about 40 odd countries. So even in other countries as well, you find these street performers by the roadside. Traffic junction, you are sitting at a traffic, you are sitting in your car at a traffic junction, you find those little children, poor children, they are doing cartwheels, they are doing tightrope walk across the street. They are trying to entertain you just to earn a little extra money for their family. And that gave me an idea. Their cartwheels and all, they are so perfect. I realized that they have talent. And if only someone was there who can nurture this talent, possibly, a child is a child. He also has, or she also has dreams. And, whatever those dreams may be, someone has to nurture their talent so that they can realize, attain their dreams, achieve their dreams. And that's how I got into writing a story about a fictional family from East India who are forced to migrate to Gurgaon, Delhi NCR from there because of repeated floods in their villages. And so they have become poor. And they are forced to migrate here and they live in a jhuggi. And that's how the story worked. And that was the birth of my next book, The Gymnast. So that's how that has been the transition, my transition, you could say, from being an engineer to the railway services to a private sector to entrepreneur to now a writer.
Sir, I want to ask one question from your engineering, sir. Sir, you got into the Indian Railway through the UPSC engineering service, right, sir?
Yes.
Sir,
that's
now,
right,
sir, yeah. Now, sir, in 2022, the Indian Engineering Service is now in the Indian Railway, who is to recruit from the Indian Service. Now they are move out and they form the Indian Railway Management Service System (IRMS), and now
exactly.
now they are taking admission. Now they are taking recruitment from the civil service. So, do
Yes.
you see as a death of an Indian Railway engineers? Like now they want only the management crew, sir. What's your view, sir?
Okay. See, you can there is no death or birth, I would say. See, there are always it's a mix of any service would be a mix of managerial skills and technical skills. There would always be requirement of technical domain knowledge. I would say domain knowledge. There would be a requirement of domain knowledge. Let's say an electrical department. You would require electrical engineers to provide that technical skills, and so on. So, like even with me also, see, when I joined railways, you see, there is in your engineering, there is no separate course for railway engineering.
Yes, sir.
So you are raw with theory, and you learn on the job. Whatever you learn on the job. And as you learn, as you move up the ladder, you are required to take more of management positions. Even as an electrical engineer, as the head of the department of an electrical department, Right in my first posting, I was the head of a maintenance shed, which had about 1,000 plus staff, and I was a manager. They were experts. They were experienced. They knew much more than me. What they needed was people's management, man management, and sometimes when they were stuck somewhere, to provide them a little extra technical bit of expertise which I might have gained during my college days. So no, so responding to your query, no, there is going to be no death or anything. It becomes a coordinated kind of a department. Earlier there were so many departments, but those departments would still have to function, and skill set would always be required for a particular domain.
Thank you, sir. I mean, to clear the query, sir. My next question is, sir, like, sir, you change the, sir, profession, and you come moving out of your, the bubble zone, like the bubble zone of government officers to the private sector, then the entrepreneur and the writer. So sir, you push yourself to go out of your comfort zone, because no one wants to leave their government service, no one wants to leave their private sector. Sir, what makes you to go through this, like, push you out of the comfort zone?
Michael, see, life is not just comfort zone. The day you are born, your birth itself, you are coming out of the comfort zone. Comfort zone is a mindset. You have to come out of that mindset, that set, the preconceived notion of a comfort zone, because until and unless you stretch yourself, I don't say one has to overstretch, but you have to stretch yourself to achieve something, to attain something. See, all of us have dreams. I do not know, how many. Let me ask you a question. Did you want to be an electronics engineer?
Starting,
keep your hand on.
Starting when I cleared the Gymnast, it was quite tough, but soon I realized the importance of this. So yes, but at first no, but soon I realized.
At first no. So if you ask 100 odd people, somebody may say that he wants to be a photographer. Somebody may say he wants to be a cricketer, a musician, a singer. But yes, by and large, a few people would say, yes, they wanted to become an engineer and they have become an engineer. So for these people, their passion is engineering. But for someone else, the passion may be photography. Someone else, the passion may be something else. So that is what is very important. That is the most important thing, that what is your passion? And whether you are willing to walk that extra mile, to work that little bit extra, to attain that passion, to attain that dream. If you are willing to do that, then in that case, you are a success. Even if you become an engineer, even if you become a government, join the government service, let's say, hypothetically, I am saying, if you join the government service is also not a bed of roses. It's also hard work. Railway services are hard work. You have to take decisions. Even decision making itself is something very hard. You may have apprehensions. What if my decision goes wrong? Believe me, maybe 5 times out of 10 times your decision may go wrong. But then, so what? You may fail, but yes, you will get up, as long as you have the, you are willing to get up again and try again and overcome that failure. That is what defines success. So, as I keep saying, as my theme of both my books, the Gymnast also is the same theme, that you should dream. And once you dream and work for that dream, sky is the limit. Even the sky is not the limit. You can attain anything.
Yes, sir. Sir, dreaming and the passion for the work is different, sir. But your observation skill is also very high, because both of the books, the one book was on the focus on the common man, and the other is on the gymnast, the watching the children on the side roads. Sir, your view and your observation is very critical. It is very important, sir, and how to maintain this in this era, sir, where the information is very fast, like the that we can get the information at very millisecond. So people lacks observation, and both of your book and even you write a book reviewer of your musing. If I'm not wrong, I mean
Yes.
this clarity shows that you are very observant person. So how to be like that, sir?
Oh, that's a very difficult question, Michael. That's a very, very difficult question. Uh, but end of the day, see, you do observe when you are going on the road or anywhere you are going somewhere, you are observing things around you. Uh, Only what happens is you have to train yourself, your mind to observe things. That's important, and it is something which nobody can, no classroom can teach you that, how to observe things. It comes out of experience, and and it's not just in writing or things like that. Even for that matter, if you are working and if you are working with a team and you are the team leader, you there also you have to observe. And observe what? It could be something as simple as the person, one of your team members has come in slightly late, and there is a frown on his face or her face. Obviously there is something very wrong, something wrong with that person, or at home something has gone wrong. Now if you observe that as a team leader, you should ask, or you would ask, hey, what has happened? Why are you worried? And probably that person may spend only about 5-10 minutes and unload himself or herself. Maybe the child is sick, or maybe there was no power supply in the night and he could not sleep properly, or anything. It might have been anything. So these are, as you rightly said, that you have to be observant of everything around you, and nobody can teach you that. This is something which will come to you out of experience. Like for example, I'll ask you today in the morning, what did you observe in the morning? Where did you go out to the market or someplace?
Yes, sir. I
I'm
mean, to buy the vegetables and the other things, so go household
to
things. That's it.
Okay. So what did you observe?
I
Just think
mean,
about it for a minute.
humidity is very high. I know. I just wear the earphones, so I don't hear something, but I observe quite a few things. Someone is moving around. Someone is leaving for the job. I mean, I'm here to pick up the household things. I'm just at a not at hostel, so that's a different thing, sir.
Right. So you observed and you remembered. Only thing is that possibly, what you remember, what you have remembered, or what you have not remembered was not pertaining to what you were doing, or what you had to do. So it's a matter of, now that I write stories, I observe accordingly. When I was in my job, I observed my people. Their welfare, well-being was was in my interest, was my responsibility. So it will come automatically. With experience, it will come.
So writing is a very difficult task for nowadays because we just focus on the exam and or we just type here on the WhatsApp or any social media. We forget to write through the pen unless or until it is an exam, sir. So do you write your book on your any software, or you just paper draft on your through your on your pen, on your paper?
I'm not a pen and paper person now, even
Okay,
though
sir.
I used to write letters. We have actually written letters till, I think, till almost about 1990, when, a few years into my job. Till that time, I did write letters. But then thereafter, more and better means of communication have come. And so I'm not a pen and paper kind of a person, a writer. I write out directly on my laptop, and whatever I have to write. And even, if I get some idea, say maybe in the middle of the night also, that also, I open my mobile and just type out those things and save it there to be retrieved later. I have a OneDrive, and I save everything on my OneDrive. Now I don't save anything on my computer directly, so it goes on my OneDrive only, to be retrieved as and when I touch upon that subject. So I am totally a laptop person now, laptop and
Okay, sir.
mobile person now.
Okay, sir. So I mean, sir, coming on to your book, sir, it is a book states that it is a book one, sir. How many series we expect of the Gymnast, sir? Like Gymnast book one, book two.
So for that, I'll once again have to explain, as I said, that this is the story of a migrant family from East India, and there are three children there. The eldest one is a boy. His name is Pradeep. He loves playing flute and musical instruments. The second one, 2 years younger to him, is a girl, Deepa. She loves to, she's a pretty little girl, and she loves to dance and play act and sing and all those kind of things. And the third one is another 2 years younger, which is Roshni, and she loves doing that cartwheel and tightrope walk and everything. So she becomes the gymnast. So initially, I had thought of writing a single book of all their lives, but then I realized that it was, one book cannot do justice to the lives of three children. So possibly, sometime in future, I will write two more in this series, covering the lives of Pradeep, and Pradeep falters in between. Deepa wants to get into the movies and stuff like that. So maybe I'll write two more books in this series, but not immediately, because immediately there is another manuscript that I have completed, and then I'm working on a fourth one. I've started working on a fourth one, so that's yet another one.
That's
So maybe
wonderful,
sometime.
sir. That's wonderful, sir, because the readers have many options to read from you, sir. Sir, my first, again, my next question is, sir, like uh, the generation, so the students are young students, they, I think my things are my views, sir, is that, sir, that they don't want to write an book or a novel. They don't want to write an even blog on that. They just want to comment or any the caption type things. Sir, what's your view, sir? How should you persuade someone to write a book? I mean, to express their feelings like you did, sir. I mean, you take a bigger step in that, sir.
See, feelings are something natural, Michael. Everyone, we are humans, and all humans will have feelings. All humans will express their feelings, their sentiments, their emotions in some way or the other. It may not necessarily be through writing. It may be a verbal expression that may happen. When friends are talking, somebody may say something, somebody may talk about it, about his or her feelings. So feelings will always be there. And I would not say that writing is the only choice. More importantly, I would say reading is very important. Whether you read fiction or non-fiction, that may be your personal choice, but reading is very, very important, because what happens is, in fact, I had done a few online workshops, or I don't call it workshops, so interactive sessions with the students of a few colleges across India. See, when you are reading a book, I'll talk of fiction. When you are reading a book, you get immersed into the characters, the story, the storytelling. And so automatically your mind also starts thinking what will come next. And when you discuss that book with others, your other friends, so what you are doing is that you are, there is a critical analysis. Now you tell me, as an electronics engineer or anybody, as a student, when you pass out, you do complete your graduation, and you want to go for a job, what do you expect? What will be the job process? The job process is going to be that there's going to be a written examination. There could be a written examination, and written examination could be divided into two parts. One is how much time do we have? Do we have some time? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So the written examination may have two parts: technical and non-technical. Your behavior,
yes, sir.
Behavioral.
Yes, sir.
Now it's that behavioral part where you have actually lived the lives of the characters on the book that your imagination opens up. And then there will be group discussion. Once you clear this, then there's going to be, most likely there's going to be a group discussion also. Now, in a group discussion, once you get into that habit of discussing whatever you are reading, then that helps you in that group discussion also, because you know how to express your thoughts. So you are able to clearly articulate your thoughts. Then reading also helps you in improving your pronunciations, in improving your vocabulary. You learn new words. You read a word, you don't know about it, you look up the dictionary. So reading is very important. Reading has to be inculcated, and I don't think that there would be any young person who may not have read at some point of the time or the other. It could even be just be comics. A comic series, something or some book. So reading is important. Even if you read maybe 2 pages in a day, good enough. You have your other responsibilities. You continue.
Yes, sir.
But you read, because it will help you in getting a job. Not just getting a job, it will also help you. When you are working, when you are working with teams, when you are working with other people. So how the reading helps, and then writing would then automatically become a natural progression. At some point of time, you may like to express. See, you said that people just want to comment. Even comment, when you said comment, is also a writing.
Yes, sir. But sir,
so
yes, sir.
Your mind has started thinking that, okay, what you did not like in the book, and that's why you have commented. So humans are humans, sir. They will always be thinking. There will always be emotions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for explaining the every little doubts of me, sir, and the audience who's watching this video, sir. And with the time limited, short time limited, we are in the end of this interview. Before wrapping up the interview, sir, could you give some motivation tips to our viewers, so that after watching this they feel more motivated to work harder?
So work harder. So yes. So like, for example, can you see my book?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. So this is
sir.
the Gymnast.
Yes.
And this was the Life and Times of a Common Man. Yes, my first book, right? Now, interestingly, the theme in both the books is the same. And it is about dreams. That you should dream. You should dream with your eyes open. And importantly, you should work to attain that dream. You may not be able to, because of maybe financial constraints, maybe because of family constraints, you may not be able to attain those dreams then. But don't let the dream die. At some point of time in life, you will always be able to work to achieve that dream. That's all that I would like to say, that dreams are important. Dream with your eyes open, pursue them passionately. There is no time limit. There is no time bar. I am now 63 years old. So if I could start writing at the age of 60, so anybody can, whatever one wants to do. If I could start my own, businesses at the age of 55, then why not? Anybody can do it. So just be with it.
That's very nice of you, sir, and thank you for doing this, sir. This means a lot, sir.
No, thank you, Michael. So So I would request viewers to read my book, The Gymnast, and give me an honest critical review. The book is available on Amazon also. The book is available.
Sir, I will copy, share this link on the comment of our YouTube channel, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Thank you for doing
this. Thank you so much, Michael. It was a pleasure talking to you, and it was a pleasure. Thank you.